We're here with Will, aka KINGPOETIC01 today. We're going to do a little bit of interview and find out about his passion for kicks.
I'm just a normal person, man, a normal guy with a passion that loves sneakers. Growing up, I didn't have very much, and, I found the love for sneakers at a young age. I was about 13 or 12, and just knew that I wanted to have the best sneakers ever. So that's part of who I am, but, Will, is one of those people who is an entrepreneur, father, and just a hustler, man.
So, everyone pretty much has a story on how they started out and how they got to this point here. Why don't you share with us a little bit of how you got to the point of having such a massive amount of kicks?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just, having love and passion for it. For me is the hunt. It's the time to obtain it, and how they feel, how they make me feel, and it's helped me to become a better person as well. Because I meet other people, and I learn from other people as well.
So you've hustled your way from selling candy as a kid to doing all types of things just to get money to buy kicks. What's the craziest thing you've done for a pair of kicks?
I mean, from hustling to candy, video games, to selling cans. I mean, I've pretty much sold stuff that I didn't need, and asking for allowance, advance allowance. But those are the things that I do to obtain it. That's what I've been doing.
Right.
It was never easy. It was more so like, you want something, you need to earn it. And so that's like my theory now, since I have a 5-year-old. If you want something, you need to earn it. So
right.
It's
deeper appreciation for your things if you have to earn it yourself, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, you've mentioned in other interviews in the past that I've seen that you have this huge, massive collection, but you always mention the number 500. You said you stopped counting at 500.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what your 500th shoe was?
You know what? I thought about it. I thought about it because I knew this question was going to come up. And I think I can't even answer it because, it's one of those things that you just count. It's not like,
right.
Oh, okay, this is my 500th pair. You know what I mean? You know what? I've seen collections that people had, and they look at my collection and they get amazed, and I get amazed. So it's kind of like a hand in hand, because we inspire one another. It can be competitive, you
right.
know what I mean? Because it's like, cats want to know, where'd you get those? How did you get those? And, what did you do to get them? So,
right.
No, I mean, I think overall, people inspired me. And for me, it's like, it's kind of like the people that I deal with is they inspire me in their own different form.
Right. Speaking of influential, how was it working with Freehand Profit? You helped to bring out the cork LeBron mask.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Shout outs to Freehand Profit Gary. It was very fluid. You know what I mean? Like he just we hit it off, and he said, look, man, I have this mask that I wanna bring out, but I don't know who might have the shoe, and do you have it? So it's kind of like it just worked out. That day was the first day that I ever wore my corks. I unds them basically, and I mean, for me to do something like that was because I felt, and I believe the product, of
right.
what he's doing. I believe what he is doing is awesome, because it's something that that he's passionate about,
Right.
and I'm all about supporting others when it comes to this type of culture. What he does is amazing. You know what I mean? Like I think
Definitely dope.
he took something that he enjoyed, which is sneakers, and he created it a craft. You know, created it as also a business because it's becoming a business for him.
Right.
So it was an honor to do that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
he could have picked anybody, and you know he chose me.
Aside from Nike, Jordan, and all of these other brands that are very big right now, what's your favorite shoe or what's your favorite brand out right now?
For me, it's always gonna be Nike and Jordan, just for the simple fact is that that's what the foundation for me.
Right.
That's what I started buying. Jordans was the main. The first shoe I ever bought was a Jordan 4. That was in '89. So people ask me which is your brand. I mean, I like Adidas. I like Pumas. I like other brands that I'm getting into. Vans. As a kid, I used to buy Vans, and I forgot that Vans had some cool stuff. Overall, for me, it's Nike and Jordans. I don't think it's gonna change.
That hard. With the sneaker game, evolving into somewhat of a like resellers market right now. And you've already stated in the past you've paid, up to $1,200 for a pair of shoes. Who knows if we could add up the cost, what it would come up to. But because of that, do you see yourself slowing down in the near future or ever selling your collection?
At times I think about that, I mean, it's one of the questions that comes to mind for me is that, it's just like hip hop. There's these rappers that want to retire out of hip hop.
Right.
But, I mean, is that even valid? I ask myself, you know what I mean? Is there a such thing as sneaker retirement? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something that comes to mind, and you heard it here. Sneaker retirement, I've slowed down a lot, I mean, there's times where, I will buy at least 6 pair of shoes, every weekend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now it's becoming more so being selective on getting what. Now what I'm doing also is using it as trade bait. So, it's kind of like if someone is looking for a certain shoe, I use it as trade bait. Okay, what do you have? It's like trading cards. So
Right.
I trade shoes.
So getting back to you and, your everyday life, tell us about your brand, King Poetic, and, how it came about.
King Poetic, basically, I had a vision. I always loved fashion, always loved clothes, always liked things that I wasn't able to get. So, King Poetic came about a song that I heard by Nas. It's Halftime. I wanted a brand that made people feel good. I wanted a brand that had meaning to it. King is like the highest of the highest,
Right.
on earth, you know what I mean? And poetic is basically, it's a form of expression, because the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we cut our hair, it's an expression. It's
Right.
a poetic expression of who we are. Touching people.
Right.
I'm making my mark.
Where can we find you and help support the brand?
You could find me at KINGPOETIC01, or you could follow us on Instagram, KINGPOETIC01, or King Poetic Clothing.
Definitely have the people check it out. Thank you for sharing your collection with us.